Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be a live trade video where I try to capture some of my trades as they play out live. Real quick, a couple clarifications. Number one, I am trading futures. If you don't know what futures are, I'll put a link down below in the description area to a totally free 4-part series that goes over the futures market, how it works, just to give you a bit of information that maybe gets you interested. If you are somebody that's very annoyed by and stuck under that pattern day trading rule, there is zero pattern day trading rule in futures. You can day trade as much as you want every single day. Second, I am trading futures through a prop firm. What is a prop firm? How does a prop firm work? What prop firm am I using? All that information can be found up at the top of the page here. I'll also put the link down below. But in a nutshell, a prop firm is a way for you to put very little of your money at risk, and then you have a whole lot of upside potential. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in learning more about, then like I said, just check out that link. So, and I've already made a few trades. One other thing about futures is they're basically open around the clock. So these trades, I don't even remember when I did them, but yeah, they're essentially open 23 hours a day. They are closed on Saturdays, but other than that, open essentially 23 hours a day. So there's a lot of time to trade them, or at least to find to trade them, if you have a full-time job or whatever. So that's just another thing to, throw out there that maybe piques your interest in wanting to learn more about them. So I will pause the screen recording software for now, and I'll be back as soon as I find a potential trade. All right, I'm thinking this thing wants to go to highs, so I'm going to hop in there. Highs would be above that white line. If it does indeed want to make that push. Tried. This would be pretty impressive if it can recover back up now. There we go. We still have 2 left. Whoa. All right, I'm out. I do not like how it pulled back that quick. Well, still a nice trade. I was hoping for more, but yes, I was not going to risk as it pulled back that being the start of an even bigger move down, and it still may very well come down at this point. Um, yeah, exactly as it's coming down right now. Bummer. So I threw some orders out there to scale out, but I was trying to hang on to a couple of them in case the rocket ship really got going. But like I said, given that it started to come down, and yeah, I was not willing to risk this. Well, I'm glad I was aggressive and got out, because that would not have been ideal to have it drop all the way down there. So, all right, well, yeah, a good trade, yes. A little bit of a disappointing trade just because, yeah, you saw it. It was starting to break out. It was starting to look great, and then that fast down it went. But it is what it is. I'll pause. Let's look for another trade. All right, I'm looking to, there we go, get long at that blue line. So I am long. 5 micros this time. There we go, nice little scalp. So nice move there. With that first trade, I don't want to risk giving, get punched in the face. So that's what's nice about futures. There are different types of contracts where it's the same chart, but the P&L just moves at different, levels. So this one right here is called the MNQ, which the M. So notice this is the MNQ. This right here is the NQ. So they are both the NQ. The difference is that this is the MNQ, which stands for micro, which just means that that number right there, the P&L, is going to fluctuate around differently. So it's the same general chart, but you can just kind of do what I'm doing here. Is if you get up, or at least what I like to do, and you're not really wanting to take a risk of all of a sudden getting punched in the face and seeing all these gains really drop back to 0 or whatever. Then you can always scale down. So to be fair, it's a two-sided coin. You're not going to make as much either, because if this P&L number does not fluctuate around as quick, then yeah, if you're right, you're not going to make a whole lot. Well, I mean, you can still make respectable money, but Point being is it's not necessarily about how much I can make at this point. It's just I'm all, focused about risk and, not wanting to give, too much of this back. So I don't know. I might just call it good. I'm kind of looking. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll try to take one more, but in some senses, I don't want to push. I don't want to push it, right? This right here, now to my credit, I scaled out, and I'd like to think my years of instinct, well, to be fair, I was right. It came back down. I didn't want to risk it. And I'm glad I didn't, because it dropped all the way back down there. But at some point, it's just like, well, if this is how the market's going to be, where it acts like it wants to be strong, and then all of a sudden, boof, maybe I should just take these gains and head on out. But I'm not one to commit to that quite yet. I'll go ahead and pause. All right, so I'm going to do this just either get punched in the, not punched in the face, but either just, if it wants to come down here, I'm going to get short. Oh, never mind. Let me move up my stuff or my entry some more. Again, not the greatest, but if I'm wrong, I'll still be plenty green, and that'll just ease the, so there we go. Totally going against the trend, but just trying to see if this is some sort of, if it is getting up to an area of resistance. But yeah, this is a trade where I'm going very small because I think I have a very high chance of being wrong. And if I am, I'll still be plenty green on the day. And then I'll feel fine, like, okay, I got my final green or final trade. Because right now, I just want one more trade. And yeah, I probably forced this one because I just want to make a trade. But I'm acknowledging that with myself. And that's why I'm doing 3 MNQs. Put a take profit order out right there at that green line. Put another one down here in case it all of a sudden wants to flush in my favor, and then I'll still have one for the game. But oh, there, hey, look at that. All right, got one taken out. That's good. Come on down. This is my next take profit order. Well, I think if this thing comes down, it might want to come down some more. Let me just move that down some more at this point. Okay, so I have one left, and yeah, let's see, because of that, let me just put my stop now. So I could still be wrong on this one, meaning I could still lose money on it, but if it wants to come down red, I'll get it into, in fact, let's just make it break even now. All right, so this final one, I am now at break even. So worst case, this will be actually a green trade. Was not really expecting that. There we go. All right, let me move it down some more. Let me move it down some more. Move it down some more. So as I go, this is actually a pleasant surprise. Well, I mean, no, there was reasoning behind it, so I shouldn't be shocked that it worked. But I mean, that was a pretty strong uptrend there. But so now I'm sitting here wishing, why didn't I go massive size? But that's hindsight for you, right? It worked out. Now I'm all upset that I chose a position size that I did. But like I said, that wasn't a total random trade. There was logic behind it, and in my defense, it worked out. But yeah, it was. I would not have called that an A+ setup or anything like that. But there we go. I got in my final trade. I feel better about that, and it, in some senses, a pleasant surprise there. So yeah, not too bad. So if you ever do find yourself the attitude, I need just one more, just scale down. Just scale down. If you're in futures, then hop over to the micros. If you're not already there, if you are in the micros, just scale down in position size with the micros. Because yeah, sometimes we just, as traders, I just need one more. And to satisfy that urge, yeah, go take one more. Again, still make sure there's rationale behind it, but just scale down in size, because there is always that possibility that, yeah, you're probably forcing a trade in the sense of you're not going to quite take an A+ setup. So that is the way that I deal with that, when you just have that feeling of, I just need one more. So hopefully that little tip, like I said, it helps me. I don't know if it'll help you or not, but that's kind of how I like to deal with it. Before I go, though, I do want to personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering. So if you want to learn more about the tools I'm using, how I build consistency, how I manage risk, then I think this class will offer you a good amount of value. And quite frankly, just make sure you have the right framework that you're operating from. Too many people, they have some kind of bad assumptions. I understand why they have those assumptions, but they're not actually correct. And then that can create headaches in somebody's journey. So to just make sure you also have the right foundation to which you're building from, like I said, that's something else that this class will offer. So I definitely encourage you to get signed up for it. There's a link down in the description area, or you can just go to claytrader.com/live and learn when the next live class is. So thanks for hanging out. As always, if you enjoy these videos, make sure you hit that like button. and hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. Everybody take care. Have a good one.